This is JD from JD's Booze Reviews. It's Thursday night and you know what that means. Enjoy the beers, everyone.
Will you look back when you're old and grey and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night and you know what that means.
What does that mean?
I don't know. What does it mean?
Time for Thematically Speaking. This week it's going to be a bit more informal. It's episode 60. It's kind of a milestone. So we're going to try something different. We're just going to kind of look at the news this month. Mm-hmm. Bit of a kind of informal sideways view of looking at it. But without further ado, I'm going to welcome our guests on. So first we have got all the way from Themepark Insanity, Joe. How you doing, Joe?
I'm very good, thanks, guys. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Joe.
All right, yeah.
Very good. And glad to be back. It's been a while, so.
Thank you. That.
It's like coming home.
And we're drinking beer tonight as well.
We are indeed. We've got all sorts of different beers, so this is going to be really good fun. Looking forward to it.
And also we have got the coasting with the Joneses, Andy, Laura, and Darcy. How you doing?
Hey. Evening.
And we don't talk about Mario Party because stuff happened there.
Somebody would. There we go. It started.
But we're mainly we can talk about whatever we want, but I've got a lot to talk about Subterra and the observation platform and things that have happened this month. But first of all, before we get onto the beers, just a little bit of fun. I've only got one of these, but for you all to have a bit of a go at. You got odd one out. The Thought Park one-shot fast tracks, Aramark, and the observation platform.
Ooh. I'm going to say the observation platform.
Because it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. The other two have recently gone up in price, and even though people thought it was going to be an upcharge, the platform is free. You got that straight away.
Hey.
So I think we're going to talk about Subterra first, but what I've got, because I'm not playing a highlights video at the start of this episode, I've got a video. I mean, we all saw those reviews where everyone said it was fantastic, but we want to see those reviews where people kind of didn't. So I've got a few reviews from some other content creators, but should make you smile. Just play
Cages and stuff. And the scene in the underground bit with the egg was really good, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, Edward didn't look. He was terrified.
Here. So, like I said, with Forbidden Valley, pretty much the Phalanx have taken over. It's turned into kind of like their research facility, and we have these interesting logos turning up. Do you want to explain what that is?
I honestly don't know what it is.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I'm just grateful to have another attraction. What would you say? You want to end on?
No.
Did you enjoy it at all?
I don't know.
Before it broke down?
Yeah, it was all right before it broke down. It was all right.
A big thank you to everyone that let us.
All the links are in the description.
Well.
But I'll start with Joe. Actually, what did you think of? You've been on Subterra, haven't you? The re.
Yes, I've been on twice. It's a good attraction. It's a good way to get everybody hyped for Nemesis coming back next year. As an experience, there's still a lot they need to work on. The ending itself actually needs a lot of work. There's a lot missing from it. It's nothing like it used to be. But overall, it's like a lot of them said, it is nice to have another attraction back at the park. And it's also kind of nice to have that back as well, because obviously it's been SB&O since 2015. So it's good it's not just standing and sort of rotting, basically, anymore. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Is it better than it was before, or is it not changed enough?
I mean, obviously, I can only really go off videos before because I never got to go on it before. From what I've seen because obviously, I mean, there are POVs out there. Obviously, I don't encourage that, but there are if you want to go look. It looks like a much more toned down, much more watered down experience from what it used to be. Obviously, they've aimed it more at families with this, and you can kind of tell that it's not as intense as in kind of in your face as much, I say. And as I said, there's a lot missing from the end in comparison to what they used to be, because I think obviously there was more effects, there was more actors, and it was just generally sort of more fast paced, and obviously you just kind of toddle on out there now. So big difference.
And I'll go in order of how they're sat across the screen. But Andy, because you've been on it recently as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I went on it very first opened back in the day as well, and when I first went on it, it was kind of as it is now, so it didn't have the kind of scare maze at the end. That was kind of added a year or so after, I think. But I'd say the ride today is kind of fairly similar to what it was back then. I think, obviously...
You like it?
It's kind of changed in terms of the videos and stuff they put on the pre-shows compared to the original, but kind of in a good way, and that ties in with the kind of whole Nemesis theme. I managed to get Darcy on it as well. She was terrified of going on it, but we got
Did you enjoy it afterwards?
We came off it, and I thought she was going to cry her eyes out, and all she said was, "Can we go on it again?" So yeah.
Hey.
Did Laura go on it?
Yeah.
But...
So my first impressions were, it wasn't as shouty as what it was the first time round, because when we went in, the lady that was standing outside, she did give a little brief talk where she said, "Oh, turn to me," and she said about the flashing lights, the uncomfortable harnesses, etc. But she was quite soft with the way she said it. And the same when you got inside, there was a guy that says like face the screens and then get in the lift. I remember that being a lot more shouty the first time around.
I remember the operators basically grabbing people a bit where you get off the ride. They were basically grabbing you and kind of chucking you out. Yeah, there's none of that. It's massively turned down.
Oh, it's quite orderly when you get off the actual ride bit. They're not going, get in the elevator, get in the elevator.
They're saying that, but they're not actioning it as they used to.
They're being vocal about it, but it's nowhere near as in your face as it used to be. And to be fair, for younger audiences, that's probably a good thing anyway.
Sorry, just things did change on the screen. We've got Ben and Holly's Themepark Adventure saying they've had mixed experiences on it. First run through was great and really intense. Lots of actors in the end scene. And then the last run through was pretty lame. So I don't know what...
We've not actually been on it yet.
Clarify?
We didn't want to queue for it, and we've kind of been on it before.
The only issue we had on both the rides we had recently was getting on the actual ride. They seemed to kind of have to lower the harnesses like 2 or 3 times. And like, we're not the smallest people in the world, but it wasn't us that they were doing that with. It was a row of like 2 smaller people. So they've obviously got issues with the actual ride system somewhere.
Just out of interest, was it when you obviously walk into where the egg sort of scene is, was it the drop tower was immediately kind of on your left, kind of to the left-hand side by any chance?
There was 2. We went on the one that's kind of to your right and to your left as we first went, and not the ones on like the far side. But they seem to be having issues with all of them at one point.
Yeah, I mean, the one obviously kind of on that left-hand side immediately seemed to be the one on my 2 run-throughs that seemed to have the most issues. They're literally kind of pulling the bars up, putting them down, pulling them up, putting them down. But yeah.
They swap people about?
They do, yeah. Yeah, from what I saw at least, anyway.
Yeah, we got swapped, but we didn't actually get to sit down before they swapped us. We were just about to sit in the seats and they swapped us onto the drop tower on the left. So I'm not sure what that was about.
So Ben and Ollie's last run through, they took over 10 minutes to get the restraints down all the towers as well. So
it can does take away.
It's like a recurring thing, isn't it?
Just want to say, Travel with the Joneses is Andy's brother, but he doesn't actually go on rides, does he? So he's not been on this. He's on towers most weekends, but he doesn't.
If they paid him to go on any rides, then yeah, we can't.
But I want to get, just because last time I did beer reviews on this show, we totally forgot to write at the end that we were meant to be reviewing the beers. So if we get into this now, we can drink them throughout the show. But I'll let Joe go first. What have you chosen for today, Joe?
So today, by the way, this show is sponsored in no way by them. We've got Northern Monk because, of course, I'm a Northerner, and we've got a flake and sauce. So basically, it's like a Neapolitan ice cream pale ale. They do ordinarily do one as rule, sort of each year, but this time they seem to have rebranded it. It's quite light, sort of quite crisp. There's a nice sort of sweet flavour to it. So
straight out the can.
Cheers.
Is it chilled?
Yes, it is indeed. I'll light up. And that will be my son arriving home from his friends.
Oh, bless
Sorry
you.
about that, guys.
Are you going to let him in? Or?
I thought because
I
you
am
took a
indeed.
sip
Yeah, I'll be
of
back
it,
in 2
you-
seconds.
That's fine. Yeah.
I thought it was because you took a sip of his drink. He's like, ding.
Never mind.
dong.
Mrs. Teeth Guy's got that one. Happy days.
I thought it's because you took a sip of your drink and then ding dong.
Ding dong.
Here's in.
What have you got, Andy? What have you chosen today?
We have many, but we've got a fairly local brew from Chester called Eastgate, which is the Eastgate clock that's in Chester, which is a kind of an amber ale.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And Laura's got her special glass to drink it in as well.
Hey, I've got one of those.
Hey. Funny story.
I've got an even specialer glass.
What does that say on
Is
it?
that Wrexham? Yeah,
It is.
Wrexham lager. Funny story. Joss, who does JD Booze reviews, did the intro today. I have actually got an Oktoberfest Stein from about 2 or 3 years ago, the first year they did it, and I PayPal'd him and said, "Can you pick me a Stein up?" He has got it, and he's still got it. I chatted to him the other day and went, "I've forgotten. Have you still got my Stein?" He's like, "Yeah, but we haven't seen him to get it off him." So I own one. It's just not in my possession. But yeah, what is Laura drinking one tonight or?
Yeah, we're sharing them.
Oh.
I've gone for one I've actually had before, but it's called.
Dare I say, it tastes like skull.
Skull.
Skull. I haven't had a skull in about 10 years, but it tastes like skull.
Pina Colada, New England IPA. It's probably the best thing they do now because I miss that Parma Violet one they do, but they don't do it anymore.
That was nice. Main question though, Mike, is do you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain?
In this weather, yes.
So I couldn't resist.
And
Oh
then
God!
For me, I've not got alcohol.
I got you some mango Pepsi Max. You can review that.
I've got my tea with oat milk. So yeah.
Oh, we've used the mug.
I
We've
do
been
have-
told to put that mug on the show at some
So there you
point. So
go.
finally, hush hush family.
Is it Yorkshire tea though?
Technically.
Oh, you let the
But I
side
do
down.
prefer Yorkshire, but I'm not complaining. It's
There we go.
as it comes at the minute. So
So
it's needed.
Can't beat an hard cup of tea, lassie, now, mate.
Oh yeah.
I know what Alton Towers said when the curse opened, and on opening day, the rumours were, "Oh, they're going to add to it." A bit like on The Apprentice when they say, "We can change this about the product, don't worry." That's what I felt like. And then when Subterra opened, everyone was going, "They're going to change the sign to 3D," and they've done it. And I've got some photos. But do you think that they always planned to change it to 3D, or do you think it was a last-minute thing when they realised how bad it went down?
I think they definitely saw comments.
I don't
Oh,
think
they
it was
saw
always in the
comments.
plans.
They've had plenty of time, haven't they? Well, they've been working on it for months.
I've also had James from Scareseekers message me about the new logo for Blade as well. It's got like a light blue sort of writing on as well.
Oh, is it? Last time we went, it was just
Yeah.
painted black.
So
Yeah, it doesn't really match with the Nemesis branding at all. So
no, but it is kind of like light blue. But does that mean that they're going more towards Galactica way with Blade than?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a good question,
know.
actually. Yeah.
I just thought I'd implement that there.
And while we're on the
now whilst we're
subject
talking
of
about logos,
Subterra,
but-
on one of
signage.
Theme Park Jack's vlogs, he has some footage inside which I don't agree with, but his thumbnail reminded me of these aliens from the Muppets. So I wanted to add this in his thumbnail at the top. I've circled the bit that looks like the alien Muppets.
It actually
So,
does. Like the eyes, aren't they? And then obviously like the sort of small thing at the bottom looks like a mouth.
And I've got one more review. I think there is slight swearing in it, but Theme Park James did his vlog from the weekend when he went. And I don't know if you can read it at the bottom, but the experience remains pretty much identical to when it was closed in 2015. It's still, and then he's put an expletive, but
beep.
So what do we think about the observation
A little
tower,
bit though.
Joe?
I think it's a clever idea, but I think you get more of a view of the monorail than you kind of do the Nemesis site, if I'm honest. I mean, if you like monorails, it's good. But obviously, as the track kind of goes in, you're going to see a lot more from it. It's going to give a good perspective of any changes to kind of the creature and stuff like that as well, which I do, 100% expect to see. We've obviously seen they're removing theming pieces and kind of the skin from it. So I just say that there's probably going to be a major upgrade to that, to sort of that as well. But it's nice that they've kind of sort of gone with this and done that, as opposed to people sort of trying to put their head over the top of the fence and stuff like that. It's Towers realizing that people want to see what's happening and actually being able to let people do that. It's a good move by them.
Have you managed to snag a free pop badge from there? Because they at certain times of the day, staff go down there and leave them dotted around.
You mean these?
Yeah.
Yay!
What's the other one? Is the other one Subterra?
Subterra.
Oh, we've been trying to get one of those. We haven't got one yet.
Subterra?
Because they've released, I haven't got photos actually, but they've released Subterra merch this past week or so, haven't they?
They got pin badges and they did that 2 days after I went. I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to go down and get one very soon. So hopefully they're still there.
It seems like there's a bit of a delay in getting everything right, all in one day.
I think
they've had a delay of different.
I think they wanted to get it open for bank holiday weekend and realised everything else wasn't going to be done at the same
it's
time.
not quite followed through, has it? But
having said that, though, it is good that they got the ride open, and it also is nice. We've got, we've got Subterra merch and Phalanx merch, which I think is quite a nice little addition. So
it's nice that they got. I can't get my words out. Sorry. It's nice that they got Subterra back to try and bring subspecies. Sorry, to try and bring. I can't get my word. Try and bring it back on again. For those that don't actually know the story behind Nemesis and stuff like that as well.
Exactly.
For the beginning of it. But yeah, sorry.
So, and Andy and Laura,
I'll keep quiet.
What did you think about the observation tower? Did you?
I think it'll get better over time. Obviously, when the kind of the loop goes in and kind of the helix, I think you'll be able to see a lot more. I think last time we went, you could see one of the kind of turns they put in. But yeah, it's kind of in the wrong place. It needs to be kind of the other end. Yeah. It's still better to be there than not to be there.
I would have liked to see it combined with a few of the glass panes in the hoarding so that you could actually see through onto the more interesting bits instead of trying to stick your camera over or through the lock holes and whatever that we're doing now.
It's quite
which I've been doing as well.
they did that for Wickerman though, didn't they? They actually had windows that you could actually look through as it was being built, but they've not done it with Subterra. Nemesis, sorry. Oh my gosh.
It'll be different when they build Project Horizon though, because you definitely will be able to see any of that going in, will you? Not inside a building at least, anyway.
Do you think they're going to get rid of the dungeons and that's going to be how we walk through to it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I think that's
the dungeon seems to be dying.
Well, £11 per person, I'm not surprised.
Oh, have you been on it recently?
I went at the beginning of this year. Obviously, I've got a map pass, so I got it for £5, I think it was, or £7.50. But it's not worth what they're charging at all. And there's no changes. It's the same experience.
Now, when you went on it, did you have the boat ride?
Yes. Yeah,
they've got rid of it now.
Oh, they haven't, have they?
But they don't tell you that when you pay for it. But you end up, an actor stays at the back of, spoil that now, an actor stays at the back of the courtroom scene. And then when they're done, he leads you through to the left instead of the right through this dark passage with a rope, and you got your hand on the rope. And they still say you're going to go down the Black River, but you go through this dark room and enter the other side of the room where the torture is in.
That's bizarre.
I'll be honest, the river boat ride was the only reason I was going on it.
Yeah, because all the scares.
Same here.
I don't think they're bringing it back. They did that to us.
Wait a minute. I think someone might have read different. Ooh.
Oh, the boat ride's back. Oh,
good.
We should complain. Do you reckon we'll get another free go on there?
We should do, technically, yeah.
I got picked for the cage again.
That's because you go, who likes Cromwell? And you're like, I bloody love him. And then they put you in the cage.
Put my hand up.
Puritan haircut, no style. Get in a cage.
Well, that's the thing. When I've got a friend who's so Puritan haircut, if I go, they're just like, who likes Cromwell? I'm like,
my one thing I would recommend, because it just adds to the show for the people watching, if you get picked for the doctor scene, when you get hit with the hammer, sell it. Because they can see that your shadow of your head. So just go down as if you've been hit.
I do that every single time I get picked, literally every single time, because I can see people obviously sort of thinking you can hear them go, they actually think something's happened.
It'd be funny if you just jumped through the curtain.
Boom, got ya.
Darcy had got some Phalanx merch. And
Darcy's got the Phalanx shirt.
She was showing off them. She just showing it off as you were both talking. Oh, it's okay.
Oh, she got the pop badge.
I got the badge. Pin badge.
I need one of those.
You should. Did you want to tell everyone what happened to you in the pub scene in the dungeons?
Me and the pub scene in the dungeons. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is that when we saw Laura dance for the first time in about 15 years?
No, that was a courtroom.
Was that a courtroom?
No, it was I was obviously in the cage, so I was like the last one to come back into the pub scene. I was the last one to get into the pub scene, but obviously in between that, usually one of the actors scares someone in the front row, but I was on the back row in the middle. And
so at the end of the pub scene,
after
when the lights come back on.
After
I was looking directly at you.
Dick Turpin does whatever he does. I don't want to spoil it for people, but after Dick Turpin does what he
It's not
does,
really there much longer.
she just appears right in front of me. I'm like, oh my! I literally lifting on my seat. Oh my! I could feel something.
She normally goes to the front row.
That's what I thought. I thought, oh, she'd be at the front row, and then because it paused that bit longer, I was like, wait a minute. I went, oh my! Oh gosh! I did actually jump at that bit. So yeah, it was good. Good scare.
Do we?
It's all fun and games.
I'll ask Andy and Laura and Darcy if she wants to answer first.
Yeah.
But do you think Subterra eventually is going to fall to the fact that it's heavily actor orientated and they don't keep up with wanting to pay them for many seasons? Do they?
When we went on it, I'd say it wasn't heavily actor.
Oh, really?
So maybe one actor on the exit.
Yeah, there was.
And a guy leading us in.
One girl in like the red outfit and a mask, but everyone else was serving a role as staff through the
operating the ride.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought there'd be like two or three in that end bit.
I think there's probably about 6 people in total there when we were on it, including the people that were kind of leading you in at the beginning and the people sitting you down on the ride and then in the exit as well.
So, Joe, do you think it's going to...
Don't get me wrong, I think it's going to go. Once Nemesis is reopened, I think it's got another year or so and they'll just...
Oh, yeah, I think they'll keep it open while Nemesis reopens.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not long term, is it?
Would you agree with that, Joe? Would you say...
It does feel quite temporary, I've got to admit. It's almost like they put the effort in to get it open, but they're not putting the effort in to make it what it was. I mean, there was one of the experiences where we went through and there was literally nobody in the end part whatsoever, which really spoilt it for me. I think it's probably going to go at some point within the next year or so. I don't want it to, because at the end of the day, it's another attraction for sort of Alton Towers, but I'd like to see them reuse that space for something else. I was
going to say, would you rather see something else?
A major new ride or a major new mini coaster or something like that. I think that would probably fit better with kind of sort of the whole Forbidden Valley feel as opposed to what they've got now.
Bring back Ripsaw.
Yes, absolutely.
Ripsaw back too.
I like Funk and Fly. Is anyone a fan of Funk and Fly here?
It's fun once, but yeah.
Still can't feel my legs.
Yeah, we walked off it last time we went on.
Fun can lose circulation.
So, I didn't know if you wanted to talk. I've not been on it, but I don't really mind about spoilers. I know Joe's been on Ghost Train, but I don't know if Andy and the Joneses are going to want him to say anything. I don't know if you mind about spoilers.
Oh, no.
We've already listened to all the spoilers online. So.
Oh, really? So I was going to ask Joe about how it's changed.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, what they've done, they've literally completely removed the VR. They've completely redesigned the ride and the experience. And it's got a whole brand new story, a whole brand new sort of set of scenes. I found it really impressive. I'd say the whole experience is very akin to sort of what you get from the dungeons. It's all purely actor-led, story-based, very immersive. There's still a lot of room for improvement with it again. There's some stuff that people said they'd like to see that obviously will never happen, sadly, due to kind of the ride system and the way it operates. But the whole thing works really well. It's a very cleverly designed experience and something very, very different for Thorpe as well. It's not kind of something you'd ordinarily kind of expect them to have sort of tried out, really. So if you're down there and obviously you haven't ridden it, you need to go and give it a try at least once. Because it's very, very good fun.
Do you think the fact it's heavily actor-led there'll be a set number of years before it either declines or they just...
Again, it's one of those, I think they'll play it sort of season by season. Effectively, what they've done is they've created an all-year-round scare experience, very much kind of sort of similar to what they've done with, obviously, the Dungeon at Towers. And again, it is purely based on actors leading you through the story, with the exception of, obviously, sort of the pre-show, which follows the same format as Darren Brown did, in terms of, obviously, sort of Pepper's Ghost. But there's a lot more to it this time round. And then in terms of the rest of it, you're literally being led through by actors. So, yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things they'll gauge. And obviously, if after a couple of years it's not proving quite as popular, then who knows? They might even change it again or get rid of it completely. But from what I've seen, I definitely feel like it's a massive improvement on Darren Brown. And obviously, they've definitely done the right thing in terms of removing the VR because it was very, very temperamental from what I've heard. So, yeah, there you go.
Is there any ride in there?
So that's the thing. They sell it as a ride, but really the only kind of ride there is, obviously, is the trains themselves. That's kind of your ride aspect of it. Sorry?
Have they changed much, the train?
Yeah, so they're a lot dirtier. They're a lot more sort of kind of reminiscent of kind of run down 80s, sort of 1980s trains, tube trains. The whole station interior is completely changed. That looks nothing like it used to do. You've got a completely different sort of skin on the sort of carriages themselves. You've got sort of track below kind of the bridges that you walk over. One of them, obviously, there's like a bridge that goes up, says platform 15, which I thought was a very kind of clever nod. And I mean, this kind of obviously that's how you can tell that John Burton's kind of involved in it as much as he is, because there's a lot of similarities between what he's done with Curse at Alton Manor and then also what he's done with this, nods to sort of previous attractions, clever little hints, stuff like that. It's just a very kind of good, solid, immersive experience, and the trains definitely feel completely different with no VR on. So,
would you say? I can't remember. What was the name of that guy you just said? Because I get him mixed up with Wayne Burton.
John Burton.
John Burton. Yeah, that's what I said.
Do you think? Yeah, because Wayne Burton he was in charge of something at Towers. I can't remember if he still is. And I get him mixed up when people say John Burton. But do you think John Burton, sort of everything he's kind of metaphorically touching at the moment, is sort of gold?
I'd definitely say so, yeah. Because I mean, you look at obviously what they've done with sort of World and Jumanji, and again, that is something that obviously is one of his projects. It's just a whole different level for Merlin. It's not sort of a kind of level of attraction design we've seen in previous years. You've got this whole brand new, fresh approach. There's a lot more attention to detail. There's a lot more care and thought being put into sort of what he's creating, and obviously, that kind of leads me on to be quite excited for Exodus because he's very heavily involved with that as well. So obviously, if we look at what we've already got from John Burton, then surely Exodus can only be just as good, if not better.
He's basically a John Wardley V2, isn't he?
Yes, he is very much so. Yeah. There's a lot of John Wardley in John Burton, and
I don't know if he's more. I didn't want to jump the gun and compare him to John Wardley, but I don't know if he's also sort of like. I don't think it's bad for me to mention him, but Pete Cliff. And how he was, I don't know how much you know about Pete Cliff at Towers, but
I don't. Sadly, unfortunately, I'm not kind of.
He was kind of really creative there, but then he left to do. I don't know what he left.
Wasn't he the conductor on one of the firework nights?
No, but he was the voice that sounds like the X Factor voice at fireworks.
Yeah,
it sounds like the X Factor voice guy. It's actually him doing the voice.
There was one of the
and he was in charge of a lot of the mazes.
Yeah, there was one of the fireworks nights where it was a time machine, basically, but it was like the old thing from. The circle thing from Enterprise, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, apparently it was meant to spin.
And but his voice over for that character that mastered the time machine, basically.
Oh, I thought you meant he played it on stage.
Well, I thought he played it on stage, but he didn't. But yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
But that's the only information that I know about him. So.
And he did voiceovers for Warhammer.
Nice.
I don't know much about Warhammer.
Warhammer do audio stories as well.
I'm sort of getting flashbacks from last year because
yeah,
people notice that I have the curtains closed when I do this show and use the light because we're facing west out of the window. And I've noticed that Andy's got the same problem I used to have where halfway through the show the sun just blinds you.
You're gonna get like marks on your face where the net curtain was or something. It's like.
So I'll ask the Joneses. Mandrill Mayhem and World of Jumanji. What are your thoughts when you first went?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact we went to the Passover preview and there's like about 400 people there in front of us. We thought it was going to be a little bit more exclusive, but yeah, it's awesome. The theming's different level compared to anything that's kind of been done before in the Merlin parks. And
does it stand out at Chessington?
Sorry?
Does it stand out compared to the rest of Chessington now? Is it?
It's weird because it's almost like its own little world within the Chessington Park. It's so different to any of the other areas, but in a good way. It's going to bring lots of people into Chessington over the next kind of couple of years. But yeah, Mandrill Mayhem, I was kind of playing it down when we went on it. I thought it was going to be a bit kind of boring and just designed for kind of kids, but it's a really good coaster.
Oh, it's very different, very surprising, to be fair. There's a lot more punch to it than you realise.
Yeah, the launch to the station is just awesome.
Yeah, it is. Really
good. I know the Joneses haven't been on Ghost Train yet, so don't include that in what you're going to think about. But if I ask you, is World of Jumanji the best new Merlin attraction this year?
I've got Curse gets it for me.
They still go for the Curse?
Yeah.
That's the only ride your brother will go on.
It's a reworking, but I just love it. Can't tell you why, just do.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got a question for Darcy. The Curse or Subterra? Which one? Which one would you prefer?
Subterra.
Really? Oh, your dad's mentioned you there.
I was just curious, that's all. I was like, oh, actually.
You did really enjoy Subterra, didn't you? Yeah.
What would Laura say is the best new Merlin attraction this year? Would she say the Curse?
Yeah, probably the Curse as well. I really did like the World's Jumanji, but to me, the flat rides weren't up to standard. They were kind of a bit dull.
Would you say they were like, I don't know, dressed up versions of Retro Squad almost?
Yeah,
but they were a lot tamer.
I for throughput, Retro Squad gets it all the time. We waited best part of an hour and 20 minutes to get on Astro Stampede because it just wasn't working. It was every single time they boarded people, it was doing about 3 or 4 spins. Then they had to stop it to reseat people. Then it's doing another 3 or 4 spins. They had to stop it again. It's just
sounds a bit like Subterra.
Maybe some boosts we went on it, but yeah, it was pretty horrendous when we went.
What would Darcy say Subterra is the best new attraction this year then?
I would say Jumanji.
Jumanji, yeah. Specifically Mandrill Mayhem or are the flat rides okay?
The whole area.
Are you a fan of the films, Darcy?
Yeah.
You say yes, but we didn't actually watch the second Jumanji film until after we went on the ride. Right, which made it make a little bit more sense then, to be fair, but...
Were you? I know a few people on the. I've watched a bit of the first new one, but old school. I really like the Robin Williams one, so I don't like the way they've approached the two new films. But what I'd say is I heard people complain a lot about the mandrills aren't in the same film that the.
No, they're not. Mandrills are in Next Level, and the Jaguar Shrine's in Welcome to the Jungle. It's completely separate stories, completely separate things. And they just put them together, and it just doesn't make any sense to me personally. But there we are.
I'd just like to add that the Jumanji with Robin Williams in was my second ever DVD I got when I was younger.
First one was
just such memories.
Face Off or Con Air or something like that.
I'm a huge Robin Williams fan.
Mine was Armageddon.
Rush Hour 2 for me. First ever DVD.
Oh my gosh!
Rush Hour 2. Can't beat it. Nice bit of Jackie Chan and Chris Rock, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
No, not Chris Rock. Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, that's it. Not Chris Rock. Sorry.
No, Stuart Little as well was another one.
I saw a meme about that today. It was a cartoon meme about these parents going to the orphanage, seeing all these kids, and going, "I'll take the mouse."
Present them with
Joe, what do you think is the best Merlin new attraction this year? Would you say the Curse?
Curse Old Manor for me personally. I mean, Jumanji's good, but the flat rides are heavily plagued by reliability issues. They broke down several times when we were on them as well. Curse is just much more immersive. It's much more kind of... It's real Phantom Manor in the UK, in my personal opinion. It's absolutely fantastic. I just love it, to be fair. I really do. Absolutely love it.
Would you prefer the ride system from Phantom Manor or not?
I think the ride system from Phantom Manor probably would have worked better, but in terms of... I was quite surprised, really, when we came in and they still had the same ride system in there. I genuinely thought they would have pulled that out and redone it, but I don't know. It does kind of work. It's just a shame they didn't kind of upgrade the ride system alongside the experience, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, definitely Curse. No two ways.
Just to let you know, Hush Hush family, if you've just joined
that's why we're putting the mug up, yeah.
Guys, Subterra or the Curse, or what other options did we
have? Ghost Train,
Ghost Train, or Which ones did you prefer out of the ones so far?
Or this is a
that have been
all right
quite new this year?
segue. Or I'm going to paint the picture for you because this is something new that happened this year, right? And then we'll do the quizzes after this. That's the hook. Pleasurewood Hills put on their TikTok. I've not got the video, but I took some screenshots. Woody's Time for a Change or something along those lines, and everyone was getting. There was a post on their Facebook and Instagram, and everyone's getting excited, like new ride, new restaurant, what's going on at Pleasurewood Hills. And then they put a video up, and basically Woody, who looks like this or looked like that, and then he's getting his nails done and stuff, which doesn't really make sense because he's getting a facelift. But basically the whole thing was he's had a facelift, and a lot of people said he now looks like the stuff of Nightmares, which I'm not sure about.
He looks like Yogi Bear.
Yeah, he does.
Well, it's
But the funny,
the mouth
Smarter than your average bear.
and the forehead of Yogi.
And it's been to Greg's by all accounts as well.
it looks like they could use that for the height restrictions. It's like you got to be this high. Let's get his hand up.
Put it back to the previous one.
The previous
again.
one is the old
So-
one, and they've changed them this year.
So they
Looks
just
a bit
give you
beaverish in
wider
that one.
mouth and a bigger.
Hey.
It does look like a bed, doesn't it? But the funny thing was, before I went back to the TikTok video
Excuse
to
me.
oh yeah, check out Pleasurewood Hills, by the way, if you want. But before I went to that TikTok video to get these shots, I thought I'll go to the website and see if they've mentioned it. When I googled it, there was a page. It came up with a search result. Yeah, Woody has changed Woody, and he's changed and all this. But when I clicked on it, the page could not be found. So I don't know if they took it down because everyone just totally turned it into a meme. But, I'm not sure about that, but that was something funny that I thought, because everyone thought, "Oh, we're going to get a new ride," which I didn't think so. But people thought we'd get a new restaurant
with the
or something.
Jones said not an added tooth sort of thing. The tooth disappeared.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, he's
So, yeah, the
looked
tooth
bad
that they
for a
had
while
there has
anyway.
disappeared. Oh, Hush Hush Family. Oh, God, I
Subterra.
love Subterra, but the curse has so much history and is designed by the man himself. I think I had to choose one. It would definitely be the curse.
Also,
I think we're more into the curse.
Talking about history, I'm going to plug this quickly.
It's kind of between the two.
The next one isn't till a week on Monday, but the second semi-final is coming up on the 26th, I believe. But Corkscrew's got history. It's in the final, but I don't know who's going to get to the final.
Ramesses Revenge, Toyland Tours, and
Wild
Wild Mouse at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
It'd be funny if Toyland goes through to the final. Two rides that are around the corner from each other. Rides from two places.
Two completely different themes as well.
I've got two quizzes. I've got the logo quiz. Or first we can do... I've got a quiz where I've just zoomed in on rides and you've got to guess what they are. Do you want to go for that one first? I think you're going to breeze through the picture one, so I'll do the picture one first. I'll let Joe go. I've only got 5 of these, but you can take it in turns. I'll let Joe go first.
That would be Accelerator at Drayton Manor.
Yeah, he's got it straight away.
Wowzers.
Trouble with the Joneses says they're good at logo quiz. Is he referring to himself in the third person, or I don't know?
Who knows?
The Wild Mouse is worth it though, Stacey. That's the best ride Blackpool ever had. I know people won't agree with me, but
that was one brutal ride.
The Joneses, coasting with the Joneses. What roller coaster is
Oh,
this?
now that's a Gulliver's.
That's the Gulliver's.
But which Gulliver's? Oh.
There's more than one, but if you just tell me vaguely what the ride's called, I'll let you have it.
Yeah, it's called a new one.
Is it called Grand Prix Coaster?
Gears Grand Prix.
Close enough. Grand Prix races.
Grand Prix races.
That's is it James the Gram? You know, you follow him on Instagram.
Oh,
I follow him as well, to be fair.
I call him James
That was at an
Instagram
NCC
because I know
event.
that many Jameses and Laura as well, his girlfriend. So if you're watching this, hello.
Joe, the next one I didn't even zoom in because I thought if you just guess the name, I'll be impressed. So,
let's have a gander.
I don't think anyone made this.
That looks like that Safari Express thing from Lightwater Valley.
It's at Gulliver's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to that Gulliver's, so I wouldn't actually know what that's called. Sadly.
Do the Joneses know it?
Can I narrow it down to which Gulliver's?
You can narrow it down to which Gulliver's, yeah.
Not sure.
Gulliver's Valley. Is that right?
This is the one where I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, and then I got James to say it. Themepark James said it loads of times.
I'm guessing it might have Express in the title because
Yeah, it's got Express in it. Sushi Express. Sioux City Express, because I got James to say it loads.
Okay.
He was like, "That's how you pronounce it."
I wouldn't have known that.
Okay, Coasting with the Joneses.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. It's round. But
I know what
so
that is.
that rules out Blackpool and Thorpe. Could it be a reflection of the top of Crop Drop? No, we can't make that.
Because the ground's different.
Oh.
Nope.
No, don't know.
Joe know it.
Tower.
I like Darcy's there. They say that the ground looks different. I like that.
Go on then, Joe. Joe
Good
knows
attention
it.
to detail there.
Well, I think I know it. Is it Detonator at Fort Park?
No, close.
Oh,
I don't know if
crikey.
is it still there?
Magma. Oh, Portland's Park. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's next to Rattlesnake, is it? Or
Cobra.
Cobra, sorry. I mean, to be fair,
You'll get this one, Joe, I think. I think you'll get this one, Joe.
Yeah, that's that looks like Slammer to me, does that?
Yeah. And if anyone wants to see our previous things to do with discussing about the Slammer, it's on our previous blogs as well.
If anyone wants to see anything at all, just watch all of our channel up to this point.
I could write a book, but there's yeah.
I think I just broke my seat.
So the next one, I'll just I'll start with Coasting with the Joneses. Do you want to try and guess what the S is on this?
Oh.
I know.
Or do you want to just pick one letter that you know, and then I'll switch over to Joe and.
Are they just rides or the coasters?
They're ride logos, yeah.
Just any kind of.
Yeah, they're not specifically.
Is it R Rita, the first R? No, it's not Rita.
No.
Oh, can I guess?
No, we'll let Joe first.
Okay.
Joe, do you want to have a go at one?
Yep. So to be fair, I've got a couple of them actually. I think. So B is Cobra. You've then got T from Ghost Train, E from Smiler, R from Hero, R from Crop.
Oh, Hero.
I don't know what that last. I don't know what the A is. So.
What about the S and the? Did you say the S or the U?
No, we didn't.
I didn't say the S or the U because I'm not 100% certain on those. I recognise the S. I just can't place it.
Can I guess?
If you want to guess the S, the U, or the
Oh,
It's S Scorpion.
what does Joe know? No, it's
no, I
not
was going to say, is it the S looks like something from Tornado Springs?
Potentially, yeah.
What's it called? Not Tornado. Tornado Chaser. No.
Oh, you got the second bit right.
Storm Chaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's small. Yeah.
Do the Joneses know the U or the A?
The U's familiar. But
Yeah,
no,
the U's
so
definitely
it's-
familiar.
That's like kind of like wood, or log.
Do you know the
To
U
me.
or the A?
A I thought would be samurai.
No.
Just because I don't know. I just don't know why. The U.
I'll give you a clue. The U's. I guess technically it's not a ride.
Oh, what? Well, why'd you put
It's at Chessington.
Oh, is it the Zafari?
Zafari, yeah. And the A is a dark ride. Yeah. Oh my god, he's got it. Travel with Jones has got it.
Yeah,
Definitely Googled that.
The rivalry of the Joneses continues.
I'm really frustrated with myself because I'm there going, it's samurai, but actually it's Ninjago.
It was Oriental. That was.
It's offensive.
But I was gonna. Since he commented, then, do you think we'll get your brother on a roller coaster this year, or?
No, very much doubt it, unless he's like inebriated or unconscious.
Do you think he'd do it for charity?
No.
Yeah, you got to make him do it. Like you know.
Well,
You know Mr. T when they used to drug him to get on an aeroplane. It's that.
We just slump him into the chair.
You used to have to do something similar with my dad. He used to have to either get him completely rat-assed or slip him some of those tranquilizer style things so that he kind of sort of just go into like a really mellow state.
What are these tranquilizer style
His
things?
brothers just responded saying, "Get me drugged."
I think you'd like
like these tablet things he got from the doctors, and they put him into like this proper mellow, sort of chilled out state which unless he was kind of in, he wouldn't have got on a plane. Now he'll happily walk on and off one now, but yeah, he used to be terrified of flying.
Just to clarify, we don't condone drugging people.
And
absolutely not.
And drink responsibly. Of course.
How is the Neapolitan?
It's gone.
How was it?
Hold on.
I have a choice,
and it was
between
very
two.
nice.
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
If anyone wants to put it in the comments which one I should have, I've got Pepsi Mango and Pepsi Lime. So if anyone wants to put in which one I should try, and then I'll
Go
let you know.
lime. Definitely lime.
You think lime?
2 8-packs for $5. So.
Oh, thanks.
Top card
I'm
price.
loaded. But yeah, anybody, I'm just gonna open them out ready. But
Is that Atari, by the way, the cat?
No, it's Nemi.
Cute.
No prizes for guessing what it's named after.
Yeah, but we bought a kitten which is grey, and now they've changed the colour scheme to black and red, so we're going to have to paint him.
Can you just go on that as black and ginger? Gonna mix them.
No, I'm gonna open both just because I don't want to make so much noise when people are chatting. Anything else you can do?
I want to talk about Mardi Gras actually.
Oh, Mardi Gras!
Because which Mardi Gras have you done this year, Joe? You've done Thorpe and Towers.
Thorpe and Towers, yeah.
Which one would you say was better?
Oh, Thorpe. No two ways.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely. It felt so much like Mardi Gras. It was unreal. Just the vibes and the atmosphere and sort of the whole sort of the fact it felt like a proper street party as well because of where it was situated in the park. It just worked. It worked really well.
Could you tell there was Mardi Gras going on if you weren't at the main bit it was going on at? If you see what I mean.
You could hear it, to be fair, and there was still sort of changes throughout the park with some of the audio as well. So you could still tell it was Mardi Gras. But obviously it wasn't kind of sort of like what Towers had done in the previous years where they kind of had it all over the park. I think they tried that last year or the year before, and obviously it's different this year, but it works a lot better this year. The only thing they need to improve on, though, is the food range because the food is very, very limited at Thorpe. You had slightly more at Towers, but again, because they put the entertainment sort of stages where they did and the fact they obviously had it on the street in front of the Towers themselves, that sort of obviously kind of reduced the food offering as well. But yeah, out the two, Thorpe for me personally.
So would you say, did you try much of the food that was there?
To be honest, I didn't try it, no, because it was too expensive, and obviously you didn't get your past discount.
Yeah,
but I mean, it looked nice, and the quality of it looked good, and it did look like you got a decent amount. I just wasn't prepared to pay £11 for something that wasn't worth £11 in my opinion. So, yeah.
The food they've done at Towers this year for Mardi Gras is way above anything that Towers have ever done in recent years, in my opinion. Yes,
the food,
but it's really good.
The food's a huge improvement at Towers. There's a lot more range in terms of quality of it, but obviously they could have still had more than they had.
I think that's the only thing that puts quite a few people off is the pay for it. But then again, I've found out through a picture that I posted, which was the Mardi Bar, that there's another company that's in Derbyshire that obviously has that unit to sell like the alcohol and stuff. So I was like, oh, so I got tagged in it, and then I've tagged them in it as well, the company. So obviously maybe that's why it's so expensive, because they're trying to pay the people that are coming to
cater it.
You know, to actually to cater it. But I do like the variety. For me, I thought, why didn't they just make it a food festival? But that's like just Epcot, me.
Yeah.
The entertainment was all right and everything, but I can only review about Alton Towers because that's the only one we've been to. But yeah, but it was nice.
It was all right.
And the parade. I
was going to ask Joe about the parade at Thorpe. Yeah. What was that like in comparison to? Did you see the one at the end of the day at Alton?
I did, and it had a lot of energy and a lot of sort of vibrancy about it. But Thorpe just had way more energy. It was just more sort of we're having a party sort of thing, and obviously they kept up the energy from start to finish. In fact, you kind of felt that with like all of the entertainment they had as well. I just felt like everything kind of, the entertainment was better at Thorpe than it was at Towers. Towers is a very different feel, but Thorpe felt more, sort of more authentic to Mardi Gras, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
I was going to, before I talk to the Joneses about Mardi Gras, I just want to ask Joe, did you do Carnival last year?
I didn't, but I'm doing it this year.
Oh, because I was going to ask, because I get the impression that Carnival's, it sounds like it's very similar to Mardi Gras considering it's another event.
I think it's kind of more sort of circus orientated in terms of sort of circus acts around the park and all that sort of stuff, from what I've seen anyway. But obviously there's that sort of whole darker side of Carnival as well, with like sort of breakout of bozos, to reopen trailers and retheme it, and obviously have sort of more like freak show style things as well. Very sort of toxic junkyard from what I've seen. So it's going to be interesting checking that out. I'm right looking forward to it. Really am.
And have you stayed at the Shark Cabins before?
I haven't, sadly, no. But again, that's on my list to do either this year or next year. So
the Joneses, which Mardi Gras have you done this year? Have you done only Towers, or did you do?
This year we've only done Towers. Last year we did all three.
Yeah, we did all three. But I absolutely hated the Thorpe one last year, so we didn't bother going back this year. And now everyone's saying the Thorpe one's way better.
Wasn't it last year they only had 3 cars in the parade?
It was just, to be fair, we walked around Thorpe Park for about 6-7 hours last year. We didn't know Mardi Gras was happening. There was one stage, there was a couple of food stalls. It wasn't great. But yeah, it sounds like it's completely different, and they've kind of upped the game this year.
So what did you think about Towers, Mardi Gras?
Yeah, I think, as ever with Towers, the first day of the Mardi Gras was awesome. They seemed to have more actors in it, kind of more entertainment staff on it. There was just a better vibe. When you go to the weekend after that, it just kind of filters out, and I don't think they put as much effort in for the kind of subsequent days and weeks. But yeah, it's a good event. Kind of, I'm not entirely sure about it all happening in one place. Last year it was kind of spread around the park a little bit. I think it did lose something by having it all in one place. But the food offering this year, from my point of view, it was kind of awesome. There was a bit hit and miss, but yeah, it was way better than what they've done before.
I'm just going to ask, because he's put this in the comments, your brother's put he'd love to do Fright Nights at Thorpe this year. Would he do scare mazes?
No.
That's what I thought. Wasn't the roller coasters?
When we were younger, we went to Camelot, and there used to be a jester on the gate in Camelot as you went in.
Yeah.
The jester, he grabbed my brother and tried to chuck him in, and brother lamped him. And this was when he was like...
How old was your brother?
This was when he was about 9 or 10, wasn't it? But yeah, good luck if you're trying to get him to do something like that.
I quite like that.
If he does, yeah, awesome.
Did you ever do Camelot, Joe?
Sadly not, no. I missed out on that one. In fact, I missed out on both that and American Adventure as well.
Yeah, we missed out on American Adventure.
Bit good, to be fair.
Can I mention that in our Mention American Adventure?
Yeah, you can do, yeah. You've been. I've never been.
I went when I was at school, and there's a picture of me, which I've asked for permission with my friends, my old school friends that I still talk to.
The one she doesn't talk to, she doesn't ask.
By the way, this is not a poncho that I'm wearing, but that's me at American Adventure when I was younger. So I'd be like 13 years old, if you can see it. It was like focus.
Is that a badge?
Hey, there we go.
Yep, button badge.
That's me right at the front, a red blancmange right in front.
Awesome.
So they say, you get the front because you're the heaviest and the tallest. I'm like, great.
Get the biggest splash.
Cover all the splashes for you.
Yeah, the Dragon Coaster at Camelot just stunk of diesel all the time because it's petrol powered. And you gotta ask yourself how scary is a coaster if it's got a driver on it the whole time. It's just not.
I was gonna ask some people. I know we're doing the photography thing as well, but I was just gonna say, if anyone wants to tag us or just like send us a picture of like your past sort of merchandise that you had when you were younger, when you were first roller coastering, that'd be quite interesting to see if anyone's got any old merch and what's their first ever merch they got.
We've got the frisbee somewhere as well. From
I do have the frisbee. I'm not going there.
I don't condone stealing it or anything, but there is one. We live very close to American Adventure, where it was, and there's still one road sign. I'm not gonna say where it is nearby that hasn't been painted over and still says American Adventure.
Oh, wow. Miss Anne was your favourite, Ben and Holly. It's actually at Pleasurewood Hills.
Yeah, the boomerang. It's Pleasurewood Hills now, called Wipeout. Yeah,
so I have to try and arrange a trip to go there, and
that's the only
lovely childhood again.
That's the only coaster. I don't know if Joe or the Joneses have had it on any rides they've ever been on. But when we went on Wipeout at Pleasurewood Hills, there are signs all around it in the queue that ask you please don't scream because of the neighbours, because they're right next to a housing estate.
Yeah.
I've never had that on a roller coaster where there's so many signs asking you not to scream when you're on the ride.
It's like on Stealth. I thought the sign saying "Don't put your hands in the air." Every single person does it.
Wasn't that a publicity stunt when they were saying people were sweating and they couldn't put their hands up or something like that? They put it down. At one point, they were saying because it was like body odor and out of.
Don't get me wrong. When you put your hands up on Stealth, it does kind of hurt sometimes.
So,
yeah, it does.
Your hands up, you get really big marks there.
Just be like,
Just kind of have to put your hands out in front of you like that instead.
or like ninja.
Yeah.
Nothing was funny as when we went on Stealth a month ago and they didn't do Laura's harness up. So when they were running down and doing the checks to make sure the seatbelt harness was kind of connected in, Laura's wasn't, and she just like walked past, touched it, and carried on. Laura's face as she shot from like 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds.
What was it like when she hit the brake run again? Was she?
I wasn't impressed. I mean, I know. Well, they're not there like as a purpose, are they? It doesn't matter if that belt's out because there's so many locking mechanisms in the actual harness. But I would have still preferred it to be there.
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't on ride so I could have taken a photo of her face.
Because they've sort of got a retro squad area called Lost City at Thorpe Park, haven't they? I suppose Rush is all right. I can't
really say.
But Zodiac still got the same paint job it had when it was at Drayton Manor, I believe. Someone showed me a photo. It's still red and white, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know. I thought someone was going to jump in and.
No, is it red and white?
No, everything's blue, I think.
Well, has Zodiac been painted now? Because I know they swapped it because they had problems with it, and they bought the one off Drayton Manor years ago.
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't go all the way anyway. Put it that way. It only reaches about sort of so far, and then it sort of goes back down again.
Because I feel like all the rides that are there are sort of retro squad vibe to them almost when you think about it, but they've just themed the ground and the.
I mean, here's what I don't get. Why have they put all the flat rides in one area? Why have they done that? Because that just makes no sense. You've got this park with all this space where you could have put other flat rides, but they're all in one spot. It's really bizarre.
Does that make it easier for buses, I suppose?
It's easy enough for maintenance, yeah.
What was the last major coaster, I guess, that they built? I would say it's probably the Smiler. The last major coaster I can think of that they built in this country at the Merlin Parks, that they didn't have to build a new area for it. It fit the theme of where it was going. Because it's like Saw had a new area for it, and Swarm had a whole new area for it, and Exodus looks like it's going to. Wicker Man sort of did because it's technically not in Mutiny Bay when you ask Alton Towers. So I'm wondering, is Smiler the last one that actually fit where it was going without changing the theme of the area?
Yes, it would be then in that case. Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
Funny enough, actually, Wicker Man was originally supposed to be pirate themed. That's why there was
it had it on the walls, didn't it?
Yeah, and like that second theming element that was supposed to be in that turnaround point. Obviously, that was going to be pirate themed, but then that got scrapped and they went with Wicker Man instead. Very bizarre.
I was going to. I was going to ask about. I'm sure I've asked Joe this before, actually, but do you think it would be a good move to retheme it back to Merry England?
Where's that? Sorry,
Mutiny Bay.
To be honest, yes. Yeah, I think the pirate theme's a bit of a random one when you got all of the other quite sort of immersive areas, and then just got a random thing with a few sort of flat rides and a water ride. I mean, obviously it kind of works, but then I think Merry England would probably be a better theme for the area and would almost kind of complement Wicker Man in a way, really, if you think about it. Because you got pirates and you got this cult.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they did if it is going to be like, what is it, Old England, did you say?
It used to be called Merry England, which was just like English,
sorry.
and like the barrels were teacups and like things like that.
I'd like to see some ideas.
Yeah.
But do you know, like, they have, maybe they should change it to like Old England, because then you've got your Vikings, which would be like, obviously I wouldn't say Vikings Wicker Man, but it'd be that sort of thing to do with runes and stuff, obviously just meant for Vikings. And then you could have like a Roman theme, and then do you know what I mean, like different themes of, you know, when they took over in history or something,
or extend it beyond and into that area.
Just make it all that sort of theme, or But yeah, maybe I'm rambling on too much.
What are you most looking forward to this year for the rest of the season, Joe? Are you looking forward to Oktoberfest, or is there something else?
You see, Halloween for me, I absolutely love Halloween season. Fright Nights for the first time is going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that. Yes. But there's also a lot of really great sort of independent scare events coming up as well that I'm really sort of raring to get back to.
Scare Kingdom.
Sorry?
You going to Scare Kingdom again?
Yes, off to Scare Kingdom, yeah. Hopefully I'll be there for the press night for that one. I'm also off to Doncaster Fear Factory, Yorkshire Scaregrounds, looking at doing Extreme Scream Mobbing well as well. So there's going to be a lot coming up this Halloween. Proper psych for it, really am.
And what are the Joneses most looking forward to for the rest of this season? Is there something?
We quite liked the Halloween that Chesterton did last year. Out the Millen Parks, that was probably one of the ones that, especially for Darcy, was kind of...
I heard Chesterton was quite scary for what it was last year.
Yeah, well, Darcy's not a massive fan of kind of scary stuff, as you found out when we went to the dungeons. But what was it, Vile Villagers? Yeah. So the Vile Villagers kind of walk through. Maze was more than enough for Darcy. So they basically tell you if you don't want to be scared to kind of cross your hands in front of you. So we were kind of walking into Vile Villagers. I turned around and Darcy was just like that, walking into it.
You want to wait till they start to come for you and then just go like that?
Yeah, we lasted about 30 seconds. I had to walk out the other way. But hopefully this year, and I've been on Subterra and kind of a few others. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe like an alien sort of scare maze would be more suffice than anything. If there was like aliens involved or something.
See those lanyards that Thorpe introduced last year? The Do Not Scare Me lanyards.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a good idea, I suppose.
Yeah.
Unless it's dark.
Yeah. In which case I can't see them.
Well, thank you for joining us, everybody, as well. Awesome.
And next week we're going to have some people from the Not Bad Movie Club. They do events. I can't remember where exactly. We're going to find out next week. But they've got one tomorrow I know about. They're sold out, where they hire out a place and you book tickets you can book your table, and I think it's like £8 to go. And then they've got double screen tomorrow. It's Howard the Duck, and they're showing Batman and Robin, and there's food and drink and stuff. And they're going to come on, and I think we're going to talk about a lot of guilty pleasure films.
And not only that, I messaged them and I said I wanted the T-shirt with this logo on as well. So
Ninja Turtles,
I still need to message them, but clearly Mike's already got through to them. So, but they have merch, and I'm a bit of a merch nerd. So.
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's just been a bit different. I don't know if we'll do this again. I might do this once a month, just a bit more mellow episode.
And I ended up trying mango because people in the comments put mango, and I don't know why I'm expecting more sugar for some weird reason. So, but
it's Pepsi Max.
It's not bad. I know it's Pepsi Max, but mango, if you have it like dried mango, it's got the most sugar content. Mango, the fruit itself. So. I just thought, yes, it doesn't have any added sugar, but it's got natural mango.
I don't know if anyone else would agree, but I feel like last year mango was the new thing that most craft beers tried, and I got bored of it.
Yes, it was. Noble Monk especially. There was a lot of mango in stuff.
The lime one I've had before, it's quite refreshing though with the Pepsi Max. But yeah.
So I've got all the links in the description of stuff I've used today. But yeah, I know Max actually equals no sugar, by the way. Gareth, I think that's his name. I hope it's his name. I know his second name.
A bit awkward if not, but yeah.
Yeah, all the links in the description. I don't know if Darcy knows our catchphrase before we go.
See you in the review, but for now we're gone.
Yeah.